It is Monday the 28th of June and I can edit! Woo! I was gonna get up and do something, but I'm cold. I saw Toy Story on Saturday and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. What I want to talk about isn't Toy Story, but an article in relation to Toy Story that my friend Tara sent me. It was complaining about the proportion of male characters to female characters, and it just got me thinking about it, because at first I was like, well duh, of course they're going to be boy toys of course the toys are going to be boys if they are boys' toys. Of course they're going to be boys if they are the toys of a boy. But I was thinking about it, and there's only a couple of them that really have very clearly defined gender. Jessie's obviously a girl, Woody's obviously a boy, and Buzz is obviously a boy. But Rex and Slinky the dog and the dinosaur and the Ham, the pig money box, they're all voiced by male voice actors, and so they're therefore male characters. But I think that they're not male characters to say, look, male supremacy, even subconsciously. I think it's just that culture at the moment, for some reason, male is more gender neutral than female. This is sort of leading back to our discussion about sitcoms, and how in sitcoms a lot of the times you've got the funny character, you've got the serious character, you've got the wacky character, and then you'll have the female character. So being a girl automatically has a lot more imbued upon it in a character sense than being male does. And I think that's really interesting, the fact that for some reason male is more gender neutral. I mean, you look at, we've taken it out more so now, but it used to be, if you're referring to someone generally, nowadays you say when one does something, whereas once upon a time you said when he does something, and you didn't necessarily mean that it was going to be a boy. It's just that if you said her, it meant that it was definitely going to be a girl. And mankind as opposed to womankind, they're not opposites. Mankind was the neutral one, and womankind implies only females. I just think that's really interesting, looking at things like that. It also got me thinking about how in a lot of old Disney films particularly, but a lot of old films for children, there's a lot of feminist criticism because the girls are all these damsels. And I'm not arguing whether they are or aren't, but I think it's interesting that men are always the strong character, but we don't complain about that. We complain that it's terrible to represent a woman as weak, but it's okay to represent a man as being strong, whereas that also sets up preconceptions of men as automatically being handsome and brave and strong to be good. Gender stereotyping has just as much of a negative impact on boys as it does on girls, but it's not something that we really recognise or complain about for some reason. I don't know why. Which always brings you back to this idea of gender versus sex. The idea is that sex is your biological self, so whether you're physically male or female or whatever, as opposed to being a culturally imbued thing. So being a man in the sex sense means you've got an X and a Y chromosome, whereas to be a man in a gender sense means things like in ancient Greeks it meant that you would take a young boy as your lover, and in fairy tales it means that you're dashing and heroic. Anyway, I know this is something that you find terribly interesting, Peter, so I hope that you'll share your thoughts as well. And that's all from me, Peter. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.